Welcome to 4.7 of The Zealot. As a reminder, this type is motivated by the greater good with the intent to save those from themselves through pious religion or spiritual ideology. I personally believe that this is one of the most dangerous profiles because of how many people they can influence and how much harm they can cause. They don't care what people think of them. They care about how God or whatever deity they follow views them through their own interpretation of divine will. And it's this type, along with the Inquisitor, that has driven countless deaths and abuses throughout history. Their logic has been replaced by a narrative that once saved them, most likely helping them escape some form of violence, abuse, or abandonment in childhood. People with this type often grew up in homes steeped in religion where disobedience brought ridicule or punishment. Any challenge to that belief system meant shame. Others may have grown up with no religion at all, but found comfort in a faith type community later on, one that filled this void of belonging, even if it came with extreme or exclusionary beliefs. So let's discuss this guy. He's a singly defined splenic projector, so his two defined centers will be where his childhood is projected through. With having a strong throat anchored by the spleen that demonstrates primal fears, his words portray those who instilled his distorted views. Despite believing women should be submissive with no rights whatsoever and possess no talent, he speaks very highly of his mother, this righteous, wonderful woman that taught him the message of faith. He describes his childhood as strict, where obedience was expected and enforced with traditional discipline, being spanked in the basement, then having to pray and return to where the heart is right. This trains a child to perform repentance instead of processing emotions, bringing them into the basement as if they're being sent into the depths of hell for sinning. And his mother teaching them verses such as, "Be sure your sin will find you out," will internalize surveillance theology, the idea that obedience equals love and failure equals punishment. And with the words by his father of delayed obedience is disobedience, where disobedience is sin and submission equals virtue. Because this all became rooted in his spleen, which would have caused anxiety, but faith would have grounded this with having Sagittarius in his earth. Because in its light, Sagittarius seeks wisdom and higher truth, but in its shadow, the mission to enlighten others turns into this need to convert or control them. This type can change, but only if they can confront the cracks of their own faith while not replacing it with a different one. They have to believe that what they worshipped or the person that taught them betrayed them in some way by suppressing the actual truth. Existential or narrative or motivational interviewing therapy works best, not by telling them that they're wrong, but helping them question the truth and rediscover the meaning outside the system that controlled them. So make sure you follow and stay tuned as I'll move on to the Inquisitor next.